Hello class, in this lecture we are going to discuss about quality by design. So it is nothing but to do the modification or to design the formulation design in a manner that quality can be attained from the starting level, not at the end level. So let's continue. So we must know, we have already discussed about good manufacturing practices, that is the prerequisite for this quality by design. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss about what is QBD approach and what are its benefits. QBD, what is QBD? A systematic approach to pharmaceutical development that begins with predefined objective and emphasizes product and process understanding based on sound science and quality risk management. So what we are doing based on our skills, our knowledge and risk management system, we are designing the formulation in a systematic manner, and so that our product and process its quality would increase. So it means designing and developing formulation manufacturing process to ensure predefined product quality objectives. QBD is proactive approach for formulation optimization, which implies a thorough understanding of compatibility of a developed formulation to all excipients and process parameters involved in manufacturing product under consideration. So here what we are doing, we are maintaining the compatibility between API and excipients and other process parameters. We are also managing it so that it cannot hamper the quality of the product. It coordinates the product design by automating the manual testing and provides a streamlined troubleshooting of possible shortcomings. Instead of relying on evaluation or developed formulation alone, QBD provides scientific data to assess effect of selected parameters, which allow prompt recognition of root cause for any unwanted variation. So if any unwanted variation is there, then we will be able to know what is a variation by adopting this QBD approach. So FDA has also emphasized the application of QBD as a current good manufacturing tool in the formulation development of the pharmaceuticals. This process was initiated with the identification quality target product profile. So what is our target product and what should be its profile according to quality, and critical quality attributes? What are the critical parameters that can hamper the quality of the product? They must be identified firstly. Then on the basis of risk assessment of proposed formulation method preparation on CQAs, critical material attributes and critical process parameters were classified. The selected CMAs, yeah, this critical material attributes, and CPP, critical process parameter, they were screened by applying experimental design in order to get an optimized formulation. Response surface methodology were also explored for the formulation process variable, that is CMA and CPP. Is now quality target profile and identification of CQA, that is critical quality attribute. It is identified firstly. After that, selection of critical material attributes of drug and excipient. Then critical process parameters are selected, and application of experimental design is done, and finally data analyzed and data space generated. So this is quality target profile CQA. This QTPP sketch out the quality characteristics to be accomplished in drug releases term under consideration to ensure safety and efficacy on administration. So it take account of product characteristics that have most impact on product quality. So it laid down the firm basis for the selection of CMA and CPP, which preferentially contribute to achieving desired QTPP. Desired QTPP depend on the scientific fact, therapeutic objective, regulatory requirement, practical consideration, along with associated parameters. A well-defined QTPP is necessary for an effective experimental design for formulation optimization. So here we are taking one example of nanoparticles that are administered by nasal route, and stability is at least 12 months shelf life they are having. Then that quality attributes associated with these nanoparticles, it includes drug content, non-irritant and non-sensitizing, particle shape, it should be spherical, that is preferential, then particle size, yield of nanoparticles, and zeta potential. So in this example, particle size and drug content were considered crucial, and particle size distribution, drug load, entrapment efficiency, and further studies for effect of formulation and other process variables. Here now CQA for this, biodiversity, desirability of this is effective during overall drug release, and second is biodegradability, complete biodegradation to avoid the and residual toxic material in the biological system. Deposition pattern, preferentially deposited at target region. Drug content meets the label claim. Drug loading, it must be maximum. Drug release comparable to maintain the constant therapeutic level. Ease of application self-administrable. Entrapment efficiency, it should be maximum. Flowability compatible to delivery device. Impurities and degradation meets compendial regulatory standard. Leachables meet compendial regulatory standards, and microbial meet again it is according to the compendial standards. And then nasal irritancy, non-irritant, non-sensitizing, particle size should be in between 100 to 400 nanometer. Uniformity of content again meets the label claim. So risk assessment, selection of CMAs and CPP. First step for risk assessment was to systematically gather up all possible factors that could influence product quality. So we have to assess the parameters that will hamper that will interfere with the quality of the product. So on the basis of literature review and fact obtained from initial experiment, failure mode effect analysis technique was employed for risk analysis of different parameters influencing QTPP. So in this technique, all variables were screened for potential failure mode, and score was given in the terms of severe, detectability, and probability against response variable. Severity determines the consequences of failure affecting uh, more, and detectability given the ease of detection, and variable responsible for failure. Now S, D, and P, they were individually assigned 5 points for worst case, 3 points for moderate case, and 1 point for best case. So for the calculation, SD and P score, particle size, and termination drug loading were considered as responses in this example which we have taken out. So from the obtained SD and P score, risk priority number was calculated for each individual. So a formula is RPN equal to S into D into P, and for highest SD and P scores for any variable, a maximum RPN of 125 is possible, and minimum RPN is 1 in case of lower score. Now these are the factors that will affect the product. So you can see a large number of factors are there that can affect the quality of the product. So if we talk about the manufacturing process, then batch size, pH of the medium, stirring speed, stirring time, and manufacturing consideration, this developer skills, the instrument calibration error, analytical error. Delivery device consideration, amount of deliver, spray, pump system, angle, application angle, then pH, instrument variation, pH meter, magnetic star, lyophilizer. Formulation considerations, drug concentration, chitosan concentration, sodium TPP concentration. These are the polymers which are used for formulating nanoparticles. And device handling consideration, force applied, velocity generated, depth of insertion. So all these factors are going to affect the CQA, critical quality attribute, that is particle size of the nanoparticles, entrapment efficiency, drug loading. So if you will see this graph, then stirring speed and sodium TPP concentration and concentration of chitosan, they are affecting more, they are having more RPN value. Experimental Box-Manson design was employed to construct polynomial models for optimization process. So it consists of a set of points lying at midpoint of each edge and the replicated center point of the multi-dimensional cube that defines a region of interest. So it allows statistical optimization of independent variable, consideration chitosan, consideration sodium TPP, stirring speed to evaluate main effect and interaction effect, and of these CPV and on particle size, entrapment efficiency, and drug loading. So here we are taking considered chitosan at lower level 0.10, medium level 0.15, and maximum 0.20. Same consideration sodium TPP is taken, and stirring speed is 400, 700, and 1200. So particle size, these are dependent variables. Particle size, it should be minimum. Our goal is to keep the particle size minimum, entrapment efficiency maximum, and drug loading maximum. Now according to the analysis, these are the values, actual values of independent variables, that is chitosan, concentration, sodium TPP, and stirring speed, and particle size. These are the responses which we have got after experimental design. Second is entrapment efficiency, third one is percent drug loading. Optimal formula for FNP is concentration of chitosan, concentration of TPP, steering speed. If it is taken 0.143, 0.149, and steering speed is approximately 700, then this is the optimized formula which we have got from a factorial design or experimental design. And the actual value for this particle size, it is 154.151, and rammer efficiency 84.425, drug loading 42%. So this is the actual values 156.4, 85.64, so which we got after adopting this quality by design approach. So we are concluding with the fact that it minimizes the incidences of product failure by mapping of all possible variables including product attributes and process parameter into a known control space. The success of any QBD approach relies upon the step-by-step implementation of different steps. Thank you.